Angels with fly. Listen, banging to some Kingdom Hearts lo-fi, man. Alright, let's get this party started. Go to my share button. Let's get this out here. What's up, party people? We're live with the Q&A for Build 4 of the ATR verse. There we go. Go to my stats so I know how many people in here. Jesus, this jumped up. All right. Just some random dude. Cheese, Dragon Zeta, Mad Color, Pokefan, Yazan, King Henry III, T-Bolt for All, Luke Skyrunner, Yazan. I read you twice. Gunmetal Gator, Quiznos, Brad. I'm not saying hi. I'm just gonna go through the list. Omega Maddie, Mad Color, WarioWare, Misoji, Jason, Briosaur. All right. What's up, people? One XL guy, how's it going? Trainer Malik. Deshaun, how's it going? Man, we jumped up in viewers here. Holy shit. Sit up in my chair. KB, how's it going? Death Turbo. I got a lozenge in, so I'll try not to swish it around the mic. And thank you, Mad Color. I worked hard for them. I'm still working on them. Inter Red. Leighton Jenkins. Well, glad you're all doing solid. Before we get in any Q&A stuff, we're gonna, take a moment and just kind of let people roll in, just because a lot of people are gonna have the exact same questions. So might as well get it done from the jump. I'll probably repeat myself a lot. If this is your first Q&A stream, welcome. Just for reference, when it comes to Q&As, I don't answer anything that is this going to happen? I'm just saving you guys time now. If your question is, will this happen? Is Ash going to get this? Who will be replaced? What will happen next? Spoilers, obviously. Why I'm not answering it. It's a constant question I'll get asked, so I might as well cut it off at the pass. Welcome, Cheese, to the first one you've been to. I am doing well today. Yeah, turn the lo-fi down a little bit in my ears. Let's see. Yeah, Robert Walker. The Fire Ninetales was inspired by Fourth Tail Naruto form, because I thought it was really cool, and I wanted to do that. I didn't quite get the design I wanted, first draft attempt, but, we'll work on it. I'm doing great, Zach. All right. I think we're good to go here. We're at 48, 49. We'll get more people as we go, but this is usually where we kind of stand in the live streams. If they're your first one, we usually have like around 50 people, 40 to 50 in here, doing that. I did see the new Don Don trailer. I love Don Don. It's so good. Okay, so we'll start off with the biggest question of all and stuff, and then as we do things. If you've watched the original team comp video, I'll pull it up for reference so we all know what I'm talking about. But if you're a Dolly OG, or maybe this is how you discovered my channel in the first place, you know that this entire series started with what if Ash, had a new team in Kanto, but he couldn't use anything he's caught before. I made that video over a year ago. Holy crap. And that. Yeah. So the question on everyone's mind is, why did I get rid of Magmar? Because if you've been keeping up, I've been saying for a while there's going to be changes on the teams. But really the reason I did it was I just kind of wasn't interested in using Magmar. I'm gonna be honest. Like the again, when I first made these original team videos, I did it within a day, you know. And each character, I usually try to give some sort of thought of like, here's a plotline idea. And a lot of my mentality when it comes to assembling these teams has changed. Magmar was made because, one, I thought I like Magmar. Magmar's awesome. And I didn't want to do Arcanine because Arcanine, another, beyond the, you know, beyond the, like, whatchamacallit, beyond not being able to use anything Ash has caught before, I wanted to avoid Pokemon that everybody gives Ash, because the entire point of this series is to be different. I get so many comments that's like, can Ash get a starter? Mostly, can Ash get Charizard? It's never going to happen. I hate Charizard. But even if I didn't, I want to be different. You know, I don't want you guys to look at this team and be like, yeah, that's the team I saw on 10 other people's videos. That's what inspired my entire channel, basically. When I was making this team, I was looking for equivalents. I was like, Rhydon could be my Snorlax equivalent. Magmar could be my Charizard equivalent, you know? And so Magmar was just made because it's a temperamental fire type. I thought it could be good. And, you know, yeah, I was like, that could work as a Charizard replacement. But I've moved past that as a writer. It's just like, and as a creator here, it's because I don't need a Charizard replacement. Because this isn't supposed to be Ash's team, but like in a parallel world where he has equivalents 1-for-1 for all his original team members. It's you know, it's about like creating a new story in the Pokemon world with Ash Ketchum at the center. It's a different world than what the anime is. There's a lot of similarities, but I'm not trying to do 1-for-1 stuff. A lot of people ask me, they're like, will you do this in the anime? And it's like, and it's something that just already happened in the show. And it's one of those things where I look at it and I go, if you want that, go watch the show because it's already there. I'm trying to do something different. I'm gonna do my own thing. Miles Morales. So a lot of my mentalities when it comes to original videos has changed. One of which, a big one, is I don't believe in aces. I actually really don't like aces on Ash's teams. I think it's a problem that really started in the anime when it came to Infernape with his Blaze ability, where like the Sinnoh team got enough time to shine, and then Chimchar came along, and Infernape became became sort of like the prominent focus because his story overall dominated Sinnoh. That was sort of the main focus. You know, Rip to Torterra. And then you kind of saw it, it's super right there with Greninja. Greninja from the beginning it's Greninja and the others, you know, on the squad. No one really cares about the rest. It's mostly Greninja. And one thing I don't do on these teams when I make them now is who is the ace? Who's the guy to clutch out the victory? Who's the guy you're always going to see? Potentially, anyone on Ash's team can clutch out a victory. It never has to be just this Ninetales is the ace now or something because it's super strong. There might be tier lists of power, but also it doesn't always mean just because this Pokemon's the strongest, it is going to be the one that Ash relies on to get that victory. Like, because, I mean, if you look at Kanto, there's no ace there. Charizard, I mean, it's worthless there. So, I mean, like, it's not even, and that's not even me being mean. I mean, it doesn't listen to Ash, so it's not the ace. Pikachu's not even there to be the ace. He's not strong enough at all. Bulbasaur probably has the best KD ratio in the Kanto squad. Johto, there is no ace. I mean, you could argue that's when Charizard actually steps up for ace role, but that's kind of it. Hoenn, we say it's Sceptile, but it's retroactively Sceptile because him, Swellow, and Corphish were really holding it down on that squad. Like, it was the trio of them doing their best. Like, there were, like, Sceptile was the ace, only Sceptile just fell into the role of the ace. And that is just because he is a starter. Because all of Ash's aces, for the most part, are starters. So yeah. So don't expect any aces on my teams or anyone I go, this is the ace. All of them have important roles on this team that are meant to be fulfilled. There might be someone who's there's always going to be one character on the team that probably takes the more responsible role. Because, but yeah. So I'm scanning up and down this chat. Let's see. I'm gonna scan. So feel free to start putting your questions in now. We're at 51 viewers. Holy shit. By the way, video is doing great right now, guys. I just want to thank you all for your views, for the subscriptions. We're up to 4,304 subscribers. We've broken the 4,300 mark. We're nearly to 3K on the video, and it's been less than a day, or it's been a little bit more than a day. All right, so it's hard for me to, there's a lot in the chat. The chat is really pumped up, so I'm not going to be able to scroll all the way to the top yet. So even if you've asked something before, feel free to ask it again. But for the most part, to get to the point, the reason why Ninetales replaced Magmar is because I had a better story idea that was more long-lasting for Ninetales than Magmar. Magmar was fun for the gimmick of being the angry Pokemon that replaced Charizard. I know Ninetales is a very vicious Pokemon that does that, but the whole thing is, you know, Ninetales has a story behind it. Ninetales will do this thing, and we'll figure it out from there. But I had a story for that. Again, by the way, if you ask, will Ash get this? Will this happen in the future? Will this happen? I'm not answering it. I will say spoilers. Just so, and Ninetales is, I saw one question. Ninetales is a girl. It hasn't been established yet, but that really doesn't mean anything. Because Kanto is very one-for-one. Not one-for-one at the moment. We're going by a lot of story beats, but as the series grows and continues over the years here, you will see more branching of what the actual story is, but there's always the through line of Ash goes to Jibs. So it's in that. Okay. That's a spoiler. Let's see, another spoiler. Damn, you guys are in the spoiler questions. Do you have any plans for Misty in the future? Yes, Misty will have a recurring role in the future. I've said this before, but she's a rival, so she'll show up. I know she hasn't had the best showing yet, but I'm gonna be honest, if you go back and watch the original anime, Misty's kind of a dick. Ash is also an asshole, you know, but Misty is also a dick. So she's not, you know, I probably did her a little dirty, but she'll get better as time goes. So we'll see her more of her. Let's see. Will Ninetales be like Kurama from Naruto? I mean, I just was inspired off the Fourth Tail forms. I don't really know if Ninetales will be like that. That's not really much of a spoiler, but that's just more because I compared Ninetales to the Four Tails form, but that was really just art inspiration, nothing of that. Yes, champion, that's not a spoiler. So does Kanto have a champion in your story? Yes, it is Lance. I know Quiznos, I saw your comment that you thought Beedrill was going to be lost in this video. I saw the, like Alverte or whatever you said. Would you rather Team Rocket interrupt a Sinnoh battle, gym battle, or replace Scarlet and Violet? That's hard because I really hate Scarlet and Violet, man. I'd do Scarlet and Violet just because I hate Team Rocket, man. I don't hate Team Rocket, they're just really annoying. That's a spoiler. I'm not, you know, will Giselle get an Eevee? Won't say anything. Is the island Porta Vista? That's not a spoiler. Yeah, it is Porta Vista. It's not one for one. I'm using the name and I'm doing something different with it, but I did call it is the Porta Vista area. Not answering that. That's spoiler. Will Ninetales have the same personality as Nagar? That's more of a reoccurring. No, it's not gonna have the one-for-one personality of Magmar. Magmar really doesn't have much of personality. It was just angry and a dick and prideful. Will AJ return? Yeah, he'll be around in the future. I wouldn't have established him if he wasn't gonna come back at least once or twice. Yeah, everyone in Kanto was a dick. Even Gary. Yeah, Ninetales was basically vigilante. To sum her up, Ninetales was replaced Magmar because it had a better story that was more long-lasting than Magmar, who was just kind of a one-for-one gimmick of Charizard being disobedient. Like, Magmar's entire thing was just, I'm going to be disobedient, and I'm angry like Charizard. Ninetales actually has, like, I actually have stuff for it and stuff that expands its character beyond just the role. It is not related to the Ninetales at the temple where in Johto where Brock's Answer zoned it. Will Ash get a shiny at some point? I will include one shiny in Johto specifically because Ash caught a shiny in Johto. I try and show with some of these teams the gimmicks of whatever that gen or that region is. So Ash gets a shiny. Shinies were introduced in Gen 2, so I will have a shiny. Was there a point in having Tangela there as opposed to Ash's other team members? I can speak on that. Yes. Well, because, one, Psyduck, I liked the gag with him and Gary, so I wanted to do that. Pikachu would have an easier time against the Ninetales. Not saying it would win at all, but it would have an easier time. Tangela directly is weak to Ninetales, you know, so is Beedrill. But also, I've been giving Beedrill a lot of time to shine, and Tangela's fallen a little bit to the wayside, so I wanted to give Tangela a little bit more time in the spotlight. Doing that. How did Ash exactly get his Pokemon back as they explained it in the beginning? Okay, so the way it worked, and by the way, I will get lost in these comments, so I'm going to stay at this point, and I will be going to the list. You guys are wonderful. It's just a lot of comments. So the way it worked was Ash, all four of the trainers here got blown into the island. Gary only had Psyduck with him. Pikachu and Onix were with Giselle. Ash found Tangela's Pokeball along with Wartortles and Abras. And Brock found every other Pokemon and stuff. And at the end, they exchanged Pokemon so everyone got them back. I said when you get to the Brock segment, if you rewatch it, I say Brock found some Pokeballs. I did see a question before why Brock did not use Beedrill to help speed up the process of finding people. If you watch the beginning of the episode, they tried to do that to go find Tangela and Psyduck, and Beedrill got in a fight and got distracted. So Beedrill's not reliable in that regard. Why Ninetales is, you know, why Ninetales versus the personality? Because I hate to use Arcanine, or I would not want to use Arcanine because it's such a generic. Ash should use an Arcanine. It's like using a Flygon or something. It's what people expect. It's what people want. And I don't want to do what's just popular. I really don't like doing what's popular. I'd rather do something more interesting that gets you thinking or that kind of gives a different team than you're used to with Ash, while establishing personalities that really fit with Ash's character and with Ash's team that make it go, I understand why this is being used. Jinx would be funny for Ash. Funny enough, it's always been a dream of mine to do. It never works out, but a dream team for Ash for me is he has Jinx, Magmar, and Electabuzz. But Jinx doesn't have evolution, so it eventually goes out. I'm not including Fakemon in the NTR. Would Ash get the Hydrapple? I mean, that's not even in a gen where I don't even think I'm going to write Ash. So, no. I lost my place. What gave you the idea to have Brock and Surge have history together? Oh, that's an interesting one. So, the idea was because, one, it gives Brock something to talk about, but also because, I have in my head how the gym leader system works and how it's structured. And for most people to take over a gym, you have to have won a league or placed high. Like, you can't be a scrub. You can't just be like, oh, I don't know. Like, the Cerulean the Sensational Sisters are actually extremely strong battlers. Like, they know what they're doing. You can't just be some rando who's just dicking around to be a gym leader. You're responsible for not only just battling trainers, you're like a part of the governmental body of the region. You look out for your city. You're like a sheriff almost. And your job is to keep things safe. You're like almost a mayor, but not really. You're responsible for a lot. And so you can't just be some random asshole. So when Brock's dad left and his mom left, there's no one to take over the gym. Brock's dad had the power to hold down the gym. Brock was trying to be a breeder in his life. He didn't plan to take over the gym. His dad left, and he was left the responsibility of the gym and his siblings. And so I thought, oh, this would be an interesting time to connect Surge. One, because I wanted to humanize Surge a lot more, to not just make him some, like, dumb asshole, to make him, like, he's ruthless and strong, but he's a teacher also. Like, he is, you're going to fall down, and I'm going to laugh at you for falling down, but then I'm going to help you back up and show you what you should have done. You know, he is, like, he's a tough as nails guy, but he's still a responsible he's an adult. He was in the war. He is responsible. He knows how to do stuff. He wouldn't just evolve a Raichu too fast just because he was like, oh, Raichu's more powerful now, those electric moves. I don't need those stupid speed moves. He's not an idiot. And so I thought giving that relationship expands upon it. It gives Brock shows Brock has insight into the gym system, which he should because he was the gym leader. And yeah, so that's kind of what went around that. Will other of Ash's future team, I will say this, Fire Rapid battles. All of Ash's future teams have changed significantly. I've fully worked out the teams from, I think I've worked out actually all the teams at this point. Maybe 1 or 2 changes will occur, but, they're all ready established. So I know what's going on for Johto, Hoenn, all that. They all have personalities. I know some rough stuff and all that. But yeah. I like how your recent episode you have brought get Vic more development with the sudden surge. Will the rest of the characters have development like this? Yeah, I mean, this was sort of your preview to Brock. I've shown a little bit of Giselle of the path she's supposed to be going down. Concerned viewer, yeah. So let's see. Because if you pay attention, I'm gonna make sure I got the correct cards. So I don't have any spoilers. But if you pay attention that the regionals I was at, I got a Pokemon card. I have 1 for each of Ash's team members. So I got this Ninetales card. This isn't actually graded. I just got the grading case because I'm going to hang them on my wall. And I'm going to do that for all the generations. I'm going to get like a kind of either a shiny card or a graded card or something and hang it on my wall to show all the teams. And I put them up once I finish a region. Let's see. Will you do every region? I will do pretty much everything up to Alola is guaranteed. After Alola, that's Journeys, and I don't know where I'm taking the series with that. Are you going to do something about the Moonstone you gave Ash? We'll see. I mean, I will do something with it. I would not have just given Ash it for it to be nothing. So it will be used in the future. I will just not say what it was for. Was there a point in having... Yeah, I already answered that. I lost my place again. Will Gary get Magmar since you gave Rowlet to Green and Ninetales Ash? That's not really a spoiler. Yeah, he had a Magmar in the anime. Gary's team isn't too heavily changed. There might be 1 or 2 odd Pokemon he gets, but there's no really reason to change a lot of the Gary Pokemon he gets. He'll just won't have an Arcanine because Green has it. Will Giselle get more Pokemon? We'll see. Spoiler. Already answered that. Will there be a replacement for Brock since you originally gave Brock Ninetales? I mean, you kind of saw that, is that Brock has Togepi Egg. And if you didn't know that was a Togepi Egg, that's not even a spoiler. I mean, just use your eyeballs. That is clearly a Togepi Egg. Fun fact, Togepi was originally going to be on Giselle, because her whole thing is about learning how to bond with her Pokemon more. And I thought it'd be interesting, but I didn't want to give it to her because I felt like I'd be a little too stereotypical in that regard. That would sort of, it was sort of like, oh, she's the Misty replacement, so give her Togepi and stuff. Rather, even though it fit with her development, I give it to Brock because it's a Pokemon that will be there for his entire arc and growth. And it gives him something to do early on, well, instead of just being the, like, caretaker. I won't say what I'm going to do Sabrina because that's a spoiler. The Gary move is a spoiler. What is Tangela planning? Nothing, we'll see. Does Ash have ADHD? He's a little gremlin. Ash is an idiot. I don't even think he has any diagnosable mental, deficiencies isn't the right word, but you get what I mean. He doesn't have any conditions that are diagnosable. He's just a little dumb. I'm not answering that. That's a spoiler. Again, ask yourselves if you're gonna ask a question. Is this a spoiler to what could be a plot point in a future episode? Yeah, What happened to Team Rocket on the SSN? They washed up somewhere. Can the move Gary taught the duck be used outside confusion? Not gonna answer that. Tangela doesn't learn Slash, if I'm pretty sure. It only learns Cut, but it did learn Cut. Was there a reason you gave Psyduck before Farfetch'd? Since Farfetch'd was before Psyduck. Because team structure changes, story changes. I thought Psyduck being there when I wrote episode 3, I think it was 3. He fit more into Misty's in that episode, so Misty's Psyduck being there was funny. He fit into the toxic sludge plot line where it, and I thought he fit there than having to save him all the way to here, because that way we get more time with him and he can develop more with Ash. And I don't follow the order of the animes. Um, let's see. It didn't have the trade scene this episode. Can I ask why? Because there was no one really to trade with. I don't believe in trade evolutions in the anime. I think it's stupid to include them. By the way, no offense to any of you guys. That's just my opinion on how I treat it. Because the idea of a Pokemon needing technology to evolve is dumb when we see wild Golems, Alakazams, Machamps in the wild. So you're just telling me all those Pokemon got traded and then released? Like, it's dumb. You don't need trade. If a Pokemon needs to be traded to evolve, it doesn't in my world. Because that's just weird. Really, by the way, the only reason that Ash ended up with two of Gary's Pokemon, one is because the moment of him being like, yay, I got my Pokemon. And that, I think a lot of people compare it to the Pokemon manga, which I know exactly what they're talking about. I fully read through the manga. Love it. That wasn't supposed to be a reference to that, but I'll take the credit for it. I really just wanted to have two Pokemon there. That, you know, the only reason there wasn't different Pokemon is because I didn't want to spoil what else Gary has currently in his lineup, because he has a full team of 6. I'm sorry you did Ninetales over Rapidash. I feel like it fits better as Ashmon. It's not very popular. I don't think Rapidash fits as an Ashmon. I think it just had an episode in the anime, and so subconsciously we all think, oh, Rapidash with Ash. But, like, it really, there's no reason Rapidash fits with Ash. It's just a horse. You know? Also, I don't really like Rapidash that much. You know, I really can't imagine how it fights in a show, and so it's just kind of to me. But again, I don't really think Rapidash fits Ash. I mean, arguably, Ninetales does not fit Ash either, and stuff. It's really just the personality I gave it. But I don't think Rapidash would meld well with the squad I'm building. We'll just get more Pokemon. Spoilers. Come to think of it, yeah, in the OG anime, when they lost all, yeah. Answer some of these already. All right. When I lost my spot again. If you do the Ghost Tower arc, will they, spoilers, do you think other gyms outside 8 exist? I think, no, there's really only 8 main gyms. There might be some minor gyms around that, like, aren't official with the league, but there's 8 gyms. Are you going to change up who travels with Ash in other regions, like how Giselle was traveling with them? Yeah, I will. There will be big plans for that. But I will not do it without reason. It will be solely just if I have a better story in mind, because also, again, the entire point of this is to do something different. So if you want something, if you're like, oh, why'd you change this? Misty should be traveling with Ash. That's how, like, it's weird to have him travel with Giselle. I did for a story reason, but also if you want to see Misty traveling with Ash, go watch the anime. Will you keep some of the other aces from the OG anime? Nope. The whole point of this series is I cannot use anything Ash has caught before. So no Pokemon Ash has caught before. You know, I might have said in the previous stream that I was like, oh, I want to mix some other Pokemon in. Nah, not anymore. Nothing Ash has caught before will be on his team. So which team did you switch the most when you changed them? All of them. Kanto probably has the most original team members. But when it comes down to it, literally my entire roster has changed. Johto, yeah, well, that's changed. I mean, here's the thing. There are probably 1 or 2 members on every team that survived. Or at least maybe a 1 or 2 members that survived. But, you know, for the most part, they're all changed. Mostly because better ideas, story regions, all that. Which team, I read that. Will you be changing Jesse and James' teams? Jesse and James, no. They're not going to get any focus at all, if I'm being honest. They will have their moments. They'll do Team Rocket shenanigans, but I'm using them because I have to. I hate using them. They are just random plot devices. You know, they're there. I put them on the SSN. The only reason they're in that scene is because I was like, I guess I should throw them in here. But they'll come back in the future. They'll have their moments, and some things will be explained, like, why was there a Team Rocket operation on the SSN? What happened with that? Why are they so weak? Let's see. Would you make the gym leaders use more than 1 Pokemon per battle? Probably. I mean, like, if it was like a sense of like criminals were attacking, they'd summon more Pokemon. Like, this isn't like Misty being like, only 1 Pokemon's allowed. It's like, Misty, we're facing criminals here. Who cares? No, it's the rules, you fucking nerd. Yeah, but like, there won't be like double battles still hoeing. Will some Ash's companions change, or will, yeah, there'll be changed companions in the future. Nidoking, will you do some Moonstone? Yep. Do you like Guilty Gear? I have not ever actually played anything with Guilty Gear. I can't say where I love it or hate it, but I know it has some badass music. Spoilers. Will Giselle catch a Cubone? I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I'm giving Ash a shiny and Johto. Have you thought of basically upgrading the Kanto anime, but including... so basically, the way this works is all of the... I write this as if I'm restricted to whatever the gen I'm in. So if I'm in Gen 1, I can only do the Gen 1 Pokemon, and I only can go through the Gen 1 Pokedex. Now, I don't have to stick into, like, the red and blue moveset until a certain point, then I get access to yellow, stuff like that. But I only have access to Gen 1. I'll imply certain things that will be setups for future things because I have hindsight, like abilities or like different evolutions or moves, all that shit. I can do stuff like that, but you won't see like a Magnezone appear in Gen 1. You'll have to wait till Gen 4 for that. Now, there might be Pokemon from future gens that come in like we've seen in the anime, like how Meryl appears early, or Togepi's appeared already. You know, so there's that. I'm so behind in the chat. Man. Let's see if I can speedrun his story to his anime counterpart. Gary didn't really go through a story, if I'm being honest. I mean, like, he was a comic supervillain where he traveled around in just sports cars full of models, as he called Ash a loser. Then he was a normal trainer who was a bit of a hard ass to Ash, but Ash deserved it. And then he decided to be a professor, and that was kind of it. There's no real actual arc there. The Pokemon anime, for all you guys, I hope you're all aware, it's not well written. What I'm doing is not supposed to be a correction of it. I have the power of hindsight, so I can make things better. Who's my favorite Pokemon character right now in the ATR verse? Mine is Green and Gary right now. Green is one of my favorites. I love Green. And Gary is actually really one of my favorites as well because I get to develop him more. You know what's funny? I don't even think Misty got Togepi because she was a girl. I think Misty got Togepi because she's fucking useless. Like, Misty has no goal or anything until the anime reveals she's going to be the water type master, and then she does nothing in Johto with it. She loses the World Cup. She's a jobber. Could Hypno be an Ashmon? I mean, yeah, Hypno definitely could be an Ashmon, you know? I mean, I read Traveler, so if you're referring to that, yeah, Hypno can be an Ashmon. Any Pokemon can technically be an Ashmon. It just depends on how you write them. There are just some that feel better than others. Are you going to release Togepi after Evolve? Spoilers. Will some of Ash's companions change, like replacing... Yep, I already read that. So is Farfetch just gone now? We'll see. I'm doing the ATR for... I already read that. Yazan like a million times. Yazan, you don't have to keep posing the same question over and over. I do like making Ash a bit more smart when he's battling. He's kind of smart. It takes him a lot, but he's still a freaking idiot. Porygon is not... I'll say this, Quiznos. Porygon isn't, like, banned in my series. Are you going to keep the story with Misty and her Gyarados? Maybe. I can see... will there be evil Pokemon? Man, I'm so... Okay, now I'm kind of getting more caught up. I am doing the Orange Islands arc. Axolotl guy, he did... Who cares if he caught that Beedrill in Johto? He also caught, like, if he didn't have Rowlet or something, he caught it in the Hisuian Festival. But, guys, he didn't catch a Beedrill doesn't count. You know, let's use our heads. What's Beedrill's personality? Was it really on the team? He basically could have done that in a freaking random It's like saying he got more development with Pokemon he rented out during certain arcs than others. Yeah, I'm better now. I'm still a little stuffed up, but it's probably just allergies at this point. No, the World Cup is more of a side event, but it really has no bearing on that. It's not officially recognized by the league as anything other than just... I mean, it's a good tournament and all that, but and culturally relevant to the Royal Islands, but it's not that. But it is not that. But it is not the league. Ha! Words. Why did Missy only have one Staryu instead of Staryu and Starmie? I think it'd be funnier if Starmie was actually her sister's Viola. Because, I mean, I don't know why she had a Starmie and a Staryu in the first place. Can you have extremely long hair during the Hoenn? Yeah, it'll be like Ichigo when he uses final get to Tensho. Who got Charmander again? We don't know. Will Giselle get to join the gang in Johto? We'll see. Will you modernize the Kanto including Gen 2 Mons as well? Only when it's relevant. Probably, again, any future Mons like that will probably appear near the end. Togepi's kind of an exception. This is just a good moment to introduce it. What gave the idea to... that's kind of a spoiler. But there was a reason for it. Because also, I also wanted to change up the reason why the anime did it. Because it's stupid. Because it was like... Pikachu knows all its speed moves. That's why, and Raichu doesn't. So that's why it can beat Raichu. It's just like, but if you evolve Pikachu now, then it has the electric power and the speed moves. Do stuff. Evolve him. God damn it. But no. Thank you, Starstruck Nohime. I'm a weeb. I assume that's Nohime. No, instead of Noheim. Charmander either died or switched. Yeah. Charmander is currently in Burning in Hell right now. I mean, Ekans and Coughing will evolve. I mean, that really has no bearing on anything. I don't know about that Exo-Auto guy. I don't know how I want to run that. I don't know if I want to stick to the plot point that no previous Pokemon have been in Unova like that, and then they kind of slowly get integrated in, or others. Let's see. I don't know if the spoiler would stay with Ash as long as he did originally. We'll see. How do you deal with the fairy type right now? Basically, Clefairy is all fairy types are fairy types in my world. You're just probably, I just won't, I won't say anything. It'll be like, oh man, it looks like Clefairy took a really hard hit from that poison attack, but like, I'm not gonna be like, it's super effective. It's because it's a fairy type. It's kind of like that. There's not gonna be a lot of instances where you see a fairy type in my world get hit by a poison or steel attack, especially in Gen 1. I mean, like, there's not a lot of good poison type attacks, and steel's not till Gen 2. Ooh, which of Ash's team redone do I like creating the most? Okay, right now my favorite is Sinnoh. Sinnoh just got, because I also did the companions. I've done everything there. Johto is a 7. I don't know. I really love all the teams. There's always a member on these teams. I went over these with my friends Rose and Abdul, which Samurai Trainer Z, if you don't know, great guy. They are my sounding boards for all my shit, and so we'll like go over this stuff, and they've helped me pick mons and like we've come up with personalities, and it's like a lot. Having people to bounce your ideas off of is invaluable. Would Ash in Universe go through the Orange Islands arc? Yep, he's going that. Game Misty over Anime Misty? Yeah, I don't like Anime Misty. Since you won't use the original forms of his Pokemon, will you go through regional forms since they're so different in many ways? Yeah, I treat regional forms different. Regional forms count as different Pokemon. So if like say Ash got say in the original series he caught a Sandslash, I could still give him in my verse an Alolan Sandslash. I'm finally like catching up to the chat, thank God. Do we get to see any of Gary and Green Shimbells? Possibly. I mean, if you did, it would be like Ash got to this town and got to see their gym battle, but like you're not going to see me like cut away to their gym battle. Togepi is not an Ashmon. It's for Brock. Yeah, Ash is really dumb, especially in comparison to Green and Gary. Like he doesn't know about training. Like he has not. By the way, heads up, Ash has not trained a single one of his Pokemon this entire time. The closest thing we got to training was the swimming training he did with Psyduck that got him to be able to stand in water. Lance is still a dragon trainer. He's a master of draconic Pokemon. Like it's like they're not exactly dragons, but they're in the tier list of dragons. It's sort of like I count Flygon in a group of Pokemon where like you count towards the bug types, especially because it's part of the bug type egg group. Let's see. What do you call your what if? ATR stands for Ash Teams Redone. Funny enough, if you watch my videos from the beginning, you'll see me slowly develop the name ATR over time. I was like, Ash, here's my Ash Teams Redone verse. ATR? Like, so that's why I called it that. Might not be the most sensitive name. Will Ash become a champion earlier in the series? Is a spoiler? Yeah, we'll see. Perhaps Giselle could catch Jinx. Oh man, my friends are just like, I'm like, oh, what if I use Jinx? I'm like, stop it. Zygarde 10% badass. I love Zygarde, man. What is my favorite Ash anime team? It's probably, I love Alola because I love the Alola anime. It's probably the Hoenn team because I think the Hoenn team is the most well balanced among its members. Where I think Torkoal's the weakest link on there, but like, but I think overall, I think it has a great team. Thank you, HA Star. Welcome to the stream. How much time do I got on that? Damn, we're up to 65 viewers. What's a personality type or character arc you really want to give Ash? He hasn't already gotten. That's a hard one. Like, Ash is going to go through a lot of development because every region's going to have him learn a new aspect of training that normally people learn early on. Ash is going to go through a lot of arcs. He's not going to... The goal is that he does not become the stale shonen protagonist that he does in XY. You will see... Because Ash is different in every region, and we will not kid ourselves. He is not... You know, there's no consistent character arc for Ash. There's like maybe 1 or 2 hints to everything, but like he is just a different character, whoever's writing him. XY is definitely the most boring with him. And so the goal is that you see an overall narrative arc for Ash of how he grows and how he changes as a person. Would you ever consider adding the Journeys Pokemon to the original regions? Probably not. So, would you do a hypothetical team if Ash got into Hisui? Yeah, I'd do something like that. Jason, I've seen your comments on that, funny enough. By the way, I was reading the chat while you guys were, whoever was talking in here before, I was reading the chat as you guys were talking. You know, the grass, yeah. Tangle is a little guy. He's a little menace, and I love him. Does Blue only have Wartortle and Abra? He has a full team of 6. You just don't see the other 4. Brock has them, or Brock was the one who found them. Will you add the Sinnoh Battle Frontier in the rewrite? Yeah, I mean, like, I won't say Ash isn't gonna have a Battle Frontier arc, but the Battle Frontier is in Sinnoh, so I have full access to do whatever in there. You know, it's not like I'm gonna spend a lot of time on filler. So yeah, I can't wait for the famous Pokemon Gigantamax Bombastic. Yeah. Ash is more winging it than actually training his Pokemon. He just doesn't really know about training, if I'm being honest. He doesn't really think about it. He's just like, my Pokemon are awesome. They win battles. Like, I mean, he trained Pikachu in that specific moment, but it was specifically to counter that one strategy, that one person, and that's it. He's not like, from now on, we gotta fucking train, guys. He's just like, okay, cool, we got past that. Now we're on to the next one. Like, Ash will get around roadblocks that he gets put into, but in the moments he really he does not like plan anything. He is not continually training like everyone else is. Smug Ash is great. He's just so much fun. Let's see. Better idea, make Ash's hair longer and larger series. Yeah, he's gonna be Kaguya essentially. Yeah. Maybe Ash could get a Pokemon that was owned by Team Rocket in the anime. Maybe. Ash of a Galarian Sinnoh. That's fun. Doesn't Ash learn his lesson after he lost his sword badly? He learned the lesson of, like, you know, being cocky and, like, going in there with, like, I mean, it's kind of hard to say if he's learned his lesson. It was more of, like, he just got the shit stomped out of him. Ash bounces back and doesn't retain stuff real well. Like, he learned a lesson in that, and that he has to think a bit more, but he did not learn from that lesson, I have to go train hard and stuff. He's trained specifically after that to counter what Surge did, but it was more of a, like, you know, he didn't like have to like grow super hard as a trainer or as like in a power level from that form. It was merely like adapting to the situation he was already in. So there wasn't really a lot of like, ooh, Ash has to really like, you know, he's not ready for this gym yet. He has to go away and train first. For the first time, it was more of just like, okay, now that I got my ass kicked and I know how Surge fights, I can directly counter that because now I have that information. So it's less of a Ash is like, ooh, Ash is so good because he did that. It's like Ash actually kind of sucks because he had to lose first, get preemptive knowledge of how everything works, and then go back. What's my favorite Pokemon shipping? I don't know. I mean, Ruby and Sapphire in the manga, Diamond and Platinum in the manga. In the anime, I don't have too many ships. I mean, like, there's certain, like, I think, you know, Ash and Iris, Ash and Dawn, and Ash and pretty much any of the Lola girls are cute. I don't actively ship them, but if I saw some cute art of it, I'd be like, oh, it's fine. Where are you thinking he gets a Magmar? He's not getting a Magmar in Kanto if he ever gets one. Just because he has Ninetales, it replaced it. But is it wrong if I want to, I know we have differences of opinion when it comes to Misty, but is it wrong if I want to give her the love, modern Pokemon girls get? I mean, it's not wrong for you guys to like characters I dislike. I mean, if you want to make them better, make them better. Sun and Moon doesn't actually look bad, WarioWare fan. People just don't understand. I mean, like, art style wise, if you don't like that, it's fine. But animation wise, it beats X and Y out of the fucking water. You know, but X and Y is actually pretty boring when it's not in animation. XY gets a lot of passes, but when you're not in a battle where the 3D camera's spinning 360 degrees every 5 seconds, it's actually pretty stale. I think Giselle should get a Rapidash every time I watch Pokemon, maybe Laura Larmy. Yeah, that'd be fun. Let me rephrase. Thoughts on Ash catching Zygarde 10%? Maybe. I don't know. I don't really give too many legendaries. This is my first tattoo. This is Jormungandr, the world serpent, you know, the Ouroboros eating his own tail. Bam! And then up here is a little bit of a yin-yang here, but if you, that is Celebi and the Ilex Forest Shrine. In the future, when I have the money for it, I'll get another tattoo. I'm going to get Giratina down my forearm, and it's like shadow form. We have the movie companions traveling with Ash and him fighting movie routes in the series. I don't know about that. I'll probably have to review that, see how they adapt to the story. Remnant, I'm going to hold off on spoiling any meme. I have two to three more meme expressions I want to get in that I have not made yet. When will Tangle evolve, before or after the start of Gen 4? I don't know, spoilers. Will Ash age, or will there be funny... Ash is gonna, like, generally age, but I'm not gonna establish a number on it. Like, maybe, like, Unova, he's probably mid-teens, but I'm not gonna say he's 13, or if he's 16, you know? Like, I don't know when that... But like, Ash's age really has no bearing on anything. Like, I think the only thing it would probably get, like, you would need it for is, like, shipping stuff, I guess? Like, if you wanted to ship Ash with someone else, and it was just like, what? How old are they? You know, is Dawn... If you wanted to ship Ash and Dawn, it's like... Is Dawn 10, or is she the same age as Ash? Like, what's going on? Is it weird? I don't know. But Ash's age never, ever comes up. It's just kind of like his dad. It's like one of those things we've always wanted to know, but it's not really relevant in terms of anything. Like, it doesn't actually add any flaw. Because Ash is never restricted because of his age in any regard. Yeah, Grinkle Corn. Ash will be bringing back a lot of his older mon to help train new ones over time. It won't be like... It will usually be for specific purposes, but I want to kindly rotate the old Pokemon in and out at different points, just so they're not fully forgotten, and Ash isn't like, oh yeah, all those Pokemon I used in previous regions, they're just sitting at the ranch doing nothing. So it kind of shows that Ash still has a relationship with them, because it always it feels like Ash gets all his Pokemon, and then he dumps the old ones at the ranch and doesn't see them until the end of the series. You know, so I want to do that. Yeah, the reason why Ash, the anime's decision to have Ash be basically a Pokemon maniac, but not now to train his Pokemon. Yeah, they make a lot of decisions, mostly because the original Kanto anime is a gag anime. It's like original Dragon Ball. It's not really meant to be taken seriously. Ash wins through sprinklers, and Team Rocket shows up every 5 seconds to blow up the world and make the steel Pokemon, you know? The thing about when it comes to whatchamacallit, so they're not really, it's like how Ash doesn't know how to catch Pokemon in the beginning. It is because it's stupid, but it's so to show the viewer how, you know, to catch Pokemon. It's to everything Ash doesn't know. It's so they can teach us in that moment. Who's to say if he still has Salamence, Vihan? Because I changed up teams, but he's definitely not getting Flygon. If there's a super popular Pokemon, generally 9 times out of 10 I won't give it to Ash. That doesn't mean it's impossible. Flygon's on that list of like never gonna give it to Ash. Would you say ATR Ash would be stronger than original series Ash by the end of Gen 1? Yeah, 100%. Definitely after Orange Islands. After Orange Islands, he cleans Ash's clock. Right now, I think he still cleans Ash's clock. I think his Pokemon are better. Will I do the Jinx Christmas special? I mean, probably not. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, okay, got Warrior. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm a little defensive of Sun and Moon myself, because I remember I was there when everyone was shitting on the Sun and Moon anime. I was like, how dare you uncultured swine talk like you know art? No, but you're good, Warrior. You had a funny comment that made me laugh on the video. I remember that. It was like the Virgin Pokemon anime versus the Chad ATR verse. That got a good laugh out of me. Paul get Magmi. How long of the Pokemon League in your verse would be? Hard to say. Possibly, I want to say At minimum, or at maximum, it's probably gonna be 5 episodes, and that's if I basically took every gym battle or every league battle and situated it as itself. Or I guess wherever Ash places, I can't remember where he placed or how many battles. I think that there's like 5 or 6 rounds of the league from start to finals, maybe. I don't know, but basically, I'll probably combine a lot. So I'm hoping 3. 3 is kind of how I hope to keep the league, because I'm gonna mash a bunch together. So, but it's gonna be a lot of fighting. Yeah, Axel, but that's just an anime thing where anime characters don't look their age. I always theorize that the Pokemon world, a 10-year-old is more advanced and mature in terms of growth and knowledge than 10-year-olds in our world. Like, it's just a weird discrepancy in how they go. It's why 10-year-olds can travel around and do all this stuff. It's not we wouldn't let actual 10-year-olds do that shit in our world. Will Ash ever get more than 6 Pokemon? Yes, 100%. He will definitely be getting more Pokemon in Kanto here, future regions. I'm not going to say which ones he does, but over time, first I was going to do 6 for each region. There are some regions, though, that might get 1 or 2 additional Pokemon, or maybe a little bit more. But I also want to develop each Pokemon, give them the proper screen time. So, you're going to see, like, Ash, but I will guarantee you for Kanto, he will have more. Have you finished the original regions? Would you ever consider collaborating with artists, maybe do series one of their fan regions? I don't know, Quiznos. I'm not like too in love with fan regions in terms of putting Ash there. I mean, because at that point, I think there's more stuff I could do. Like, I think if I finish this original series, and that's gonna be years from now, so you know, whatever. But the way I think about if I ever finish this series, I'll do Horizons. Like, I mean, I haven't watched Horizons, but I would love to rewrite Horizons because by that point it will be fully done. So I'll go rewrite Horizons after this, you know, once I finish all of Ash's journey, by the way. ATR Ash is definitely smarter than Kanto Ash, I'll say that. Like, ATR Ash at least retained some stuff he learned from Professor Oak to know how to catch a Pokemon in the beginning. So he already started off the bat smart. But let me I just want to make this clear. Gary is super book smart. Green is very instinctually smart and very adaptive like that. Ash is an idiot. Like, Ash isn't like, Ash is not like the instinct to like the, you know, he's not the hard work versus Gary's prodigy. He is like, it's Gary, Green, Ash is in the rock bottom. Just so we're clear. Ash just has really powerful Pokemon. Psyduck's a monster when he gets his headache started. Tangela's really quirky and knows how to, like, fights in a very weird style that most Tangela don't fight in. Ninetales a monster. Pikachu, a monster. You know? Will Ash have a fire type instead? We'll see. Why did you switch his Magmar for Ninetales? Because Ninetales had a better story in mind. Magmar was a one-off idea of, hey, I need a Charizard equivalent to be disobedient. What if I did Angry Magmar? That'd be cool. I don't want to use Arcanine. And Ninetales is like, I love Ninetales, but I don't think it fits as an Ashmon. And then as I was writing this, I was like, oh, you know what? I finally solidified Ash's teams. I was like, Ninetales just has a better overall story and staying power than Magmar, who's just more of a one-off. Like, all my original team members here were written with one-offs in mind. And some of them were able to get more development than others and stick around. But you know, there's some Pokemon that are just like, they're not like they're fun as they're good in a vacuum when I'm doing a list like this, but not as a narrative. That's why I've had to change a lot. It's why Misty got changed. I didn't change Misty, by the way, because I don't like Misty. Misty's fine. I clown on her a lot, but that's because she's easy to clown on. I changed Misty because she just didn't have a good story that was last. Giselle had a better story I could come up with. So that's why Giselle is here and not Misty. So everything I change is always for narrative purposes, to create a better overall and more unionized tale for you guys and for myself, because I want to enjoy what I'm writing. Idea for a potential future video. Can you do a Pokemon Teams video for video game and anime characters? I thought I'll branch to that market eventually. Right now, I'm super focused on the ATR verse because each episode takes me around a month possibly to do that and to take time to make another video that like takes time away from the ATR. And I really, if you see different content than the ATR, it will be after I at least finish the Kanto saga. Not including Orange Islands. I might break and do Orange Islands. I don't see myself doing that. I really want to get to future arcs. So, doing that. I really go there. We'll see if they get to Sevi Islands. Have having to write the trio is tedious, I agree, but what about utilizing the more serious Team Rockets like admins, Exif and Giovanni? So when it comes down to Team Rocket, I think people get this idea in this head that Ash is going around busting up Team Rocket base and all that. Most evil teams Ash faces, he just shows up and they just happen to be committing evil crimes there. Ash has no stake in most of the evil teams he fights. So when it comes to Team Rocket, like they're like Ash has encountered scrubs. There's a reason why on the SSN Giselle was terrified, because Team Rocket is a legitimate criminal organization and she's very sheltered. But Ash is just like, oh, it's Team Rocket, it's on, because he's just met the trio and just like random grunts that can get taken out by one Pikachu. Like, he has not faced like, someone asked me why I didn't use any of the admins in the Mount Moon episode. That's because Ash would be dead, like, because they would kill him, because the admins Pokemon don't go up and down on level depending on where Ash is. They have strong Pokemon. They are high-ranking criminals. So, but also in this world, while Team Rocket is a serious threat, Ash is, or not Ash, the League is a functioning organization that takes this shit seriously. They are not just like, oh, these gym leaders are just hanging around. Like, they have sub-members. They have ace trainers that are going around investigating stuff in problems in the world. They are a functioning, almost a governmental body of the Pokemon world. So, or at least Kanto and the other regions have their own. So they are actively combating Team Rocket in the background of all this. Any Team Rocket encounters we have with Ash, it is just like, he just happens to be there, but he's not like searching for Team Rocket. They're just in his face. What's your favorite part of making different Pokemon personalities? I find how they act in and out about the most neat. The dynamics, more than anything. It is looking about how each Pokemon will interact with every other team member is really fun for me. How they interact and bounce off Ash is super important, and how as a unit they come together is really important to me. And I love all that. I know you said you don't like to double up, give Ash the same type, but what if the Pokemon was actually only half a type? I mean, yeah, you'll definitely see some double up types in the future. If you do, it's because they definitely have a secondary type that either primarily takes focus, or something along those lines. Like Ash having a Torterra and a Gliscor in the original series never bothered me, because they both are very different despite both being ground types. Does Ash get 2 starters in Kalos? No. I think Ash is not getting a single starter throughout this region, or throughout this entire series, going through the teams, just so you guys know. Mostly because I think starters have a lot of spotlight power, and everyone's instinct is they're the ace. And the one thing I want to dissuade is that there are any aces on Ash's teams in the first place. So Ash losing... So, like, Ash's teams are units. They are not... Here's the main character, like Greninja or Infernape, and the rest, you know? I'll try and, I try to distribute focus pretty evenly. ATR... By the time just assume this based off the bat, every ATR Ash of whatever region destroys that specific region's canon Ash. Unova, Johto, Sinnoh, Kalos, Alola, ATR Ash in that region wipes them. I always consider Ash eventually becomes quite the battle strategist. He's going to get smarter over time, definitely. I just have to get through Kanto where he has to be dumb and stuff. But then he can actually get smarter as time goes on and learn. But I have to expand an Ash character arc over so much time. Like, I normally would never write a character this dumb and keep him dumb for the entire region. Ash, by the end of Kanto, if I was writing him in a story that wasn't this ATR stuff, and he wasn't doing all the regions like the way the anime does, would know how to train, would know how to teach moves, do all this stuff. Ash doesn't really make himself an underdog. He just doesn't he's actually he's never really an underdog in a lot of this, because his Pokemon are so freaking strong. That his Pokemon just can overcome a lot of obstacles for him. You'll see him struggle. I mean, you saw him, Surge was just better than him, and Raichu is definitely stronger than Pikachu. Ash just had like a unique trick that Raichu couldn't beat. A lot of things could have gone wrong. But yeah, Gary doesn't have Arcanine though, because Green has it, just so people know. Again, I'm not gonna say if I'm gonna add whatever to Sinnoh. Again, spoilers. Which gym fight Ash won the badge for the biggest reason BS in your opinion? I mean, probably, I mean, Erica's was pretty BS because it's just like, you put out the fire, here's a badge. It's like, first off, why is your gym so freaking dry that a fire goes off this fast? Man, like, why? You're a grass type gym. You should be prepared for people to come in with fire types. You know, I think Brock's honestly is pretty BS. The sprinkler shit is kind of BS. It's like, you know, Blaine's kind of BS because of the aim for the horn shit. They're all pretty bullshit, if I'm being honest. There's no exact one where I go, like, do that, you know. Flareon honestly would have been fun for Ash. I just didn't want to give Ash an evolution. Isn't Iris' story basically just Misty's story, but narratively better and with dragons? Not really. The only similarity Iris and Misty have is that they're gym leaders. But Misty doesn't have a story. She has nothing. I mean, like, they say she wants to be a water type master, but that means nothing. Iris is actively going towards her goal. But yes, she is basically better Misty in that regard. So Gary's IQ, Green's battle IQ, and Ash is just lucky as fuck. He's not someone special. He's just got to climb up the world the hard way. Exactly, YEX. You get it. YX. You get it. That is basically how it is. Ash is just very lucky. You know, he will learn and get stronger over time, but you're going to watch Ash struggle and work for that shit. But he is not a prodigy at all. Green and Gary, very much prodigies. Just in different aspects. The only thing I found to be nods to Fire Red and Leaf Green and Emerald, other than the Battle for New was Deoxys. I'm very disappointed with the writers for not including them. Yeah. I feel like you made Beedrill not worthless and actually one of his better mons. Are you throwing away Butterfree? Spoilers. But yes, I did want to make... I mean, Beedrill is the closest to Ash. Like, here's the thing. If Pikachu and Ash are partners, it's still very early on, though, and they have a great bond. Beedrill is closer to Ash in mentality and everything, in every regard, that if Pikachu didn't exist, Beedrill would be Ash's perfect starter Pokemon. It'd be his perfect partner. That is how, like, in sync they are, you know, and that's what I've hoped to convey. Because they are such on the same wavelength. Like, because also they are narrative parallels to each other, as they both start off weak idiots who grow into their strength. Ash is still growing into his strength, and you won't see that for a long time, but Beedrill is just the fast version of that. But Beedrill really is Ash's better partner in comparison to Pikachu at the moment. Masoji, you don't got to worry about some Giovanni as Ash's father twist. Ash's father isn't a thing in my world. I don't care about it. Man, it's funny reading the chat and realize you guys are, like, so far behind me. Like, I said the starter thing so long ago, and I just see Rip Swampert. Jesse ain't getting a Cloyster. Team Rocket's not getting an additional Pokemon. I know I made a Team Rocket thing, but that was for a video, and narratively, I don't want to have to do anything with Team Rocket if I don't have to. Like, they will stick around as long as I have to have them. Who's going to get the Bond Phenomenon? No one, Deshaun. The Bond Phenomenon is really, really stupid. And I hate it. It is actually the worst thing I've ever seen. It is the most main character bullshit power I've ever seen, especially because, man, Ash has this cool bond power with this Froakie he met in this one region. Sucks to suck, Pikachu. Just make it a mega evolution. Like, the only reason if they just had to give Greninja a mega evolution, or give Ash a Pokemon like a mega evolve. That's all you need to do. My favorite gym battle so far, I mean, probably the Misty fight, funny enough, right now. I think it's funny because I like Psyduck's inclusion in it, you know, and it was very straightforward. So I like that. Like, Surge was Surge is a great one. It's just, it's pretty by the books of the anime. Like, it's like, there's not really a lot I wanted to change with it. So it's just kind of like the anime battle, but I just changed a few factors up. Is there a future gym battle I'm excited to write? Probably the Blaine fight, but that's just because I really like Blaine as a character. Would Ash get a... Yeah, I'm not... Spoilers. Would you consider doing a one-shot spin-off akin to Chronicles? So I actually plan to do in the future, when Ash has more Pokemon at the ranch, I'd love to do some like what's going on at the ranch episodes where you see Ash's other Pokemon from different regions interact with each other, so you can kind of get a better idea of their dynamics. I won't say who changes throughout the rest of the team here. It might be the same. It might have just been Ninetales. We'll have to see. But also, by the way, so a big reason why I changed teams, you guys, is so you guys can't just go back and watch the original videos and then know who Ash is getting. Because you know what? That's kind of boring. Part of the excitement is not knowing what Ash is going to get next. So that's fun for me. Would I make a top 10 favorite Pokemon vid? I don't know, maybe. Let's see. I'll be honest, Prism Brad, on one hand, I think what Erica did to Ash is BS, but on the other hand, Ash is really fucking annoying in Kanto. Like as much as I shit on Misty for being a dick to Ash, Ash does bring it on himself sometimes. Well, sometimes a good amount of time. Other times it is very unprompted. But Ash is an inconsiderate asshole. I saw a lot of comments talking about how I make Gary nicer. He's not nicer. He's just not a supervillain in the beginning. He's just not a comic rival where he drives on a in a sports car full of models. He's just not that. He's basically kind of more closer to what he was in Johto. But also, guys, I just want to get this across. Gary's not a monster. They're both 10. Gary's not nicer because he didn't let Ash die on a ship. Like, I gotta get that across. I need to know that you guys know that. I saw a lot of comments and stuff that was just like, Gary's, wow, he's way nicer. And it was literally because he didn't allow Ash to die on a ship. Like, Gary and Ash are still dicks to each other. It is just like, you know, not comical. Or not as, like, you know, cartoony. With constantly skipping over Ash getting starters is that it's going to eventually get annoying. I feel like the problem with constantly skipping over Ash getting starters is that it's going to eventually get very annoying, repetitive, to potentially monotonous. I mean, I highly disagree, Tevin. I mean, I think it's more boring, the idea that Ash is going to get a starter every gen. Like, if he doesn't get a starter, there's the entire Pokedex I have. Like, you don't know. Like, it's just like, you just know he's not going to get a starter, which is boring in the first place. Like, I'm be honest. Ash catches most starters anyways. So, like, the first 3 gens, or first 2 gens are out with starters, you know, already. Unova's out with starters. Like, Alola's most of the, pretty much all those are out. So it's like, the idea of Ash not getting a starter expands so much. Like, I throw a freaking Ninetales on here. You guys don't know what I'm going to throw at him. Like, you'll have so much, like, the idea of, like, Ash will have such more of a creative team without that stuff. You know, that's it. It does make sense why you lay down. Yeah, Ash does better with Pokemon thing. Ash will get a Mega and Kalos. Let's see. Yeah, Battle Bond is just a weird thing that I don't know why they included it, because it makes no sense. Just do Mega Evolution. I don't know why we needed to make Mega Evolution adjacent. Also, Greninja fucking sucks, if I'm being honest. He is the most, like, shonen bullshit power Pokemon I've ever seen in my goddamn life. I'm so glad he lost, even if it was to Charizard. I hate Greninja. Specifically Ash's. I like Greninja as a Pokemon in general. Bond Phenomenon feels like Thunder, Armor, Swell, and Realize, and both likely got... Yeah, exactly. I remember I asked, would you do a playthrough? You said, would after each series? Yeah, I definitely. So after each series, what I'll do for some of these streams because I'll try to get back more into streaming every Saturday. There was a lot of stuff that came up over the past month as I was working on this episode that I haven't been streamed. But in the future, after I finish Kanto, I'll go through and do a run with the full Kanto team. Ash is going to catch more Pokemon. It's just really, like, it's just weird to make, like, I love Ash's Infernape, but, it is, like, I lost a lot of love for it when I realized how close it kind of wasn't similar to the Greninja situation, where it's a Pokemon that gets a lot of focus, it gets its own special power. At least it's just an overpowered Blaze, which is natural and fine. Like, that's okay. Battle Bond is weird and just completely like my bullshit, his own bullshit power. The thing I like, again, I don't like Ash having aces, and so like at least with Infernape, the rest of the team, it didn't show up so late, so the rest of the team got focus. Greninja was there from the beginning. Like, most of Ash's Kalos Pokemon are just so underdeveloped and like bare bones that it's insane. Yeah, I wanted to show the Gary on the ice cream bit was really because I wanted to show that Gary has some quirks and then he's not just dick rival. You know, he's like, he's so smart, but he's also smart to the point of being in his own head where he overanalyzes everything. Who's my favorite Pokemon to write? It is or actually it's Beedrill. I love writing Beedrill. Psyduck is my secondary fun one because Psyduck I'm gonna do more for it. Are you gonna do a short video, not like the anime, but a small episode of Paldea? We'll see. I really don't like Paldea, and I don't like the thing. I mean, will Ash have an actual flyer on the team that helps find Pokemon? I mean, I'm not gonna say yes or no. That's kind of a spoiler, but like, I don't think Ash like needs a flyer. Like, it really is like, you know, there's really no reason why he needs one. If I'm being honest, it's sort of like one of those weird requirements people have in their heads, but you don't really need to. Are you to include more Elite Four members of the world? Yeah, no, exact. I'm definitely showing off all the Elite Four and champions in this series. The Sinnoh fire type situation will be interesting. Maybe something like Houndoom would be interesting. Oh, we just need a platinum back. So that, yeah, exactly. Spoilers. I'm finally caught up to the bottom of the chat. Oh my god, I can let my brain rest for a second. So let stuff fill up. Because how long have we been going so far? Oh, hour 11. We're still good. Man, 67. Goddamn, you guys are here for the ride. Set up on my chair a little. Yeah, I'm limiting myself to only the moves that are in the generations that are available in. So no Volt Tackle or Brave Bird and Kanto. I basically have everything in the Gen 1. I'll actually show you an example of how I do moves here. I go to Pokemon Database, and I scroll down here. Shout out to Pokemon Database, the best website for this stuff. I'll go to Gen 1, and then I will just look between these two lists on what I want to give the Pokemon. So everything here, basically, is what Tangela can learn in Kanto. That is it. If I do any future moves, it will be so close to transitioning to other regions. That is why, because it is like a preview of the next region. How does the Indigo and Silver Hounds work for both Kanto and Johto since they share the same continent? Because they have two different events. They both work under one league of Elite Four and Champions. Lance watches over both regions, but Johto has its own league, its own gym circuit that's different than Kanto's. So they have opposing schedules when it comes to their league structure. Like, while the Kanto circuit is active, the Johto circuit is not. Is how kind of it works. So like when after yeah, so that's basically how that works. Are you gonna make the sideways Gen 1 Cloister sprite for the Orange Islands if you plan on replacing the last person? Oh, we'll see. I think we're. Yeah, I mean, the thing about flyers is that if you look at Ash's Pokemon, like most of his flying pipes have no personality. Like, the only two I would say that are kind of exceptions to the rules are like Staraptor and Swellow, and it's barely. You know, Noctowl lost all sauce upon being caught. The only reason people give him a pass is because he's shiny. but he had more personality in his debut episode than he ever had throughout the entire series. Unfezant is better than people give credit for, but also not great. Like, it is not as shit as people think, but it's not great. Talonflame is fucking atrocious. And that's it, you know. Like, the birds Ash catches aren't good. I'm being fully honest. They're usually just kind of wastes of space. Pidgeot's entire thing, its like description is it pops balloons at Team Rocket. That is it. You know. I could give Magmar the story of Ninetales. Not really. It also comes down to just like form, ability, how it looks in a team comp preview. Magmar just did not fit the mold. I like Magmar. Don't get me wrong. More people were telling me to use Ninetales or Arcanine over Magmar than anything. I just switched to Ninetales because it had a better thing I could work with, you know. And Magmar's fine. I like Magmar, but yeah. It just, you know, it just didn't pan out that way, unfortunately. Like, it's hard for me to explain why Magmar doesn't work in the story compared to Ninetales without spoiling anything. Would Ash try to eat the Togepi egg if he first found it? Not immediately. He would bring it to Brock to cook, because Ash doesn't know how to cook. So is Lane champion of both Kanto and Johto? Yes. This series leave off in Porta Vista. Yes, but not. I'm using just the name of Porta Vista. It's not actually. Well, specifically, they're in Porta Vista, specifically the Hubert port. That is whatchamacallit. But it's not the same one as the anime. It is just the name I'm using for the location. Hawlucha is just his species. I'm gonna be honest. That is all he is. He is nothing more than just Hawlucha, like whatever Hawlucha personality the species has, that's what Hawlucha has. But he has really nothing. Dragonite sucks. Dragonite is a waste of fucking space. Gliscor and Rowlet are there, but they're not flyers, so to speak. Like, they're not in the flying vein. Gliscor also sucked for most of his thing, evolved, and then left. Rowlet, like, is a gag, and he's fun, and I love Rowlet, so I'm not going to talk shit about Rowlet. I also use Bulbapedia. I use Bulbapedia, and I use DB. Cerebi sucks ass. I don't know why anyone would use Cerebi. It's the worst built website I've ever seen in my fucking life. It's like a website built from, like, 2005, still existing in 2025. Bulbapedia I use for anime stuff. If I need specifically Pokemon stats and moves and all that stuff, I use DB. Unless specifically I'm looking up a TM that needs to be learned in like Gen 1. Because Bulbapedia has the thing where if I go to Teleport, it will show me everyone that can use Teleport and exclusively the latest gen that can use Teleport. You can also use the TMs introduced candidates to learn moves they can't really learn. Basically, every TM that a Pokemon can learn, I just write they can basically learn themselves like tutoring, but that's just because that's how the anime does it. And also, I don't need to be doing a disc every 5 seconds. We're not doing the bikini episode, guys. You, what kind of writer do you take me for? What's wrong with you people? I'm shaking my head at you guys. Also, I will say, Ninetales or Magmar being a kind of like, he was supposed to be a bloodlusted battle beast essentially, and that doesn't really fit well in the team comp I have now because I have kind of Beedrill as the main fighter. He's the battle crazy guy, so Magmar being the battle crazy guy doesn't work. Let's see. Oh my god, brain can rest for a second. Caught up to chat, brain can rest. Ugh. But yeah, no, that is thing. I'm not gonna do too many 1-for-1 episodes, if I'm being honest, just because with a lot of them, Ash's team being different and Giselle being there doesn't really impact too much. I'll always try and do a different take on everything. I'm not gonna do the Porygon episode, I don't think, just because it really has no bearing. Like the wild random shenanigan episodes, I'm probably not gonna do, because like the entire point of this journey is Ash going around doing the gym circuit, doing all that, Giselle learning how to bond with her Pokemon, Brock teaching them along the way and raising an egg, and learning more about breeding. So them doing random one-off adventures like that, unless it has significance to the plot, I'm not doing them. Mostly because it's just gonna be a waste of time. Like I gotta get through every region here, man. I'm trying to get an episode out a month. But also we can just apply their happening in the background because they're filler essentially. They don't really do anything. They're just more fun adventures we can see the gang on, but they don't like exist to give the characters more development. Now, normally if I was doing a full anime series, I would include stuff like them, but I'm not. Like at the end of the day, the ATR are still extremely summarized for as detailed as I get at certain points. I mean, Porygon's good. Porygon, I'm not going to say if it appears in this series, but it can appear in this series. Any Pokemon, anything that is banned in the series or in like the anime because of like real world things isn't happening here because I don't have to do that. Greninja, the way I do battles is I just do it structurally in my head of how narratively it would go. I just take the moves I know, think about how they would use them in a battle sense. I think about battles a lot. It's like one of my things is I will just put music on, put like a certain musical track that will inspire a fight in my head, and I'll just think about that. Not necessarily for the ATR, but like I'll just kind of go back and forth, think about the power levels of the two Pokemon, like what their advantages are. Like someone like Psyduck is like getting knocked so quickly into the water or taking hits. It was like, yeah, because he doesn't really know a lot what he's doing. But like I also know Misty, one of the moves she would use is Double Slap against him because she doesn't know Psyduck gets extreme. Like most Psyduck like have headaches that give him psychic power. Ash's Psyduck is extremely powerful. Like this is Mob Psycho 100 shit. So Misty is just like, oh, use Tail Slap, unintentionally giving him a headache. But like she's using Double Slap because also she knows water moves aren't very effective against a water type. So why wouldn't she use Double Slap? So it's kind of like following certain trains of logic is how I get to the conclusions. I also know like Tangela will beat this opponent but lose to this opponent. Psyduck will beat this opponent but lose to this opponent. Then this Pikachu will wrap this battle up. And that's sort of how I think about it and stuff. Is I know the outcomes of each battle. It's just about figuring out the path to get there. Are you going to give a better explanation of why Brock left Professor Ivy? Who's to say he even hangs with Professor Ivy? We don't know. Again, I'm not doing a lot of the stuff the anime does. Like, Kanto's probably going to be the most faithful to the anime, if I'm being honest. And that's just because Ash has to be dumb. And I can't do a lot with Ash training or this other stuff. But like the other stuff will, but like things will be different. Like I will change a lot as the series goes on. And that's just for the nature of like, again, I'm not trying to do the anime, but again, with slight differences. I want to do my own story while trying to keep the spirit of the anime. Ash in the future will keep contact with his past companions, but they're showing up will still be special events. But like you can assume like when Giselle stops traveling with Ash, they still like send each other texts and shit or calls. Like even if I don't put it in there, it's sort of like how Brock does I did the heart eyes in the episode today or yesterday. But I didn't have Giselle punch him and get him to stop hitting on Nurse Joy. It was just sort of like that gag happened, but I'm just not going to go over it because it's just a waste of time. I don't think the writers even handled the Master Ball at all. I mean, I know it showed up for a few episodes, but I mean, I won't say if I'll do anything or not. Yeah, Univa's gonna be fun. Samurai Trainer Z, my friend Abdul, he is a big Univa fan, so he is the guy. I'm like, ooh, would this be? He's gonna have some good opinions on Univa when I throw in some stuff out. Yeah, Ash will catch reserves. He'll catch extras. There are certain mons that Ash catches that become like sort of 6 rangers. There are some that he catches that are just sort of like in the back, but also are available to him. Ivan, there's no Pokemon I can say. There's a Pokemon I have an answer for that. I can't say it. Unfortunately, but I want to tell you guys, but I can't. Janine, the Pokemon League, trying to take over her father's gym? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Do 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 do. Nice music. I think we've kind of hit the apex of everything right now. I think we've kind of answered all the questions for the ATR viz. So I think this is where we're gonna wrap up to this week's stream. I'll possibly be streaming next week, Saturday, same time. But for now, I think this is where we can wrap things up. Thank you guys for watching. I'm already midway writing the script. I'm probably halfway done of our next one. So hopefully I can get this video out quicker than the last one I just did. But with anything, guys, thank you all for watching. Subscribe, pay attention to the community tab for updates and all that.